precision, perfection, skill. These are some of my favourite things, and when I found RC Drift Talk on YouTube, I just thought his moves were genius. Jordan launched his channel in 2021 and now is the most followed remote control car page in the world, with 10 million followers across his different platforms. Last year, his films generated over 4 billion views. One video alone has 280 million views, and I think we may have come up with an even better trick shot. Welcome to Ronin Drift Lounge. Now, drifting originated in Japan, so it's not a surprise that RC drifting has come from Japan as well. In fact, the reason I'm wearing these special moccasins is to protect this floor that was flown in, specially from Japan, to be the perfect surface for drift competition in the UK. And I'm being joined today by a legend of the internet, Jordan from RC Drift Talk, who has taken the internet by storm with some of his precision drift tricks. He's an amazing driver, and I'm going to see if I can find out whether I can transfer my skills from the track onto this ground here. Jordan, great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Thanks for bringing me down here.
Yeah, that's okay.
Most of you guys have never seen this man. You've just seen his hands, his thumbs probably, but this is the legend that broke the internet, knocking the top of a tiny cola bottle with the spoiler of a drift car. If you're watching this video and you fancy a bit of Tokyo drift for yourself, then you probably want to get a Japanese car with plenty of horsepower and rear-wheel drive. And to make sure you don't buy something dodgy on your next car purchase, you can use Car Vertical, who are the sponsors of this video. By punching in the VIN number or the reg of the car you're about to buy, Car Vertical will give you a full report so you get a thorough breakdown to really look through the history of the vehicle and make sure you're not buying a knackered banger. So let's say you want to buy a Japanese drifter like this Nissan 350Z. Punch it into Car Vertical with the reg, all the VIN number, and you get this report. And it's carnage. 2 yellow warnings, including a legal warning. The car was written off and marked as scrap. Looks like it's had a massive impact, and that is not a great place to park your hard-earned cash. To make sure you don't buy a car by mistake with a bad history like that one, you can use my exclusive link in the description below or my discount code BCD to get 20% off when you use Car Vertical. And thanks to those guys for sponsoring my video. I've watched all your videos, and I'm just fascinated by the level of precision you've brought to this game. It's incredible.
Thank you very much. That's good to hear.
You must practice this a lot to pull off these trick shots.
Yeah. So
it must take
some
hours.
of them do take quite a long time. So there's a bit of skill involved. There's a little bit of luck as well. So some of the tricks you can do pretty quickly. They only take a few attempts. Others have taken quite a while to get right. Okay, well, you're very modest. I mean, but how many years have you been doing RC and? So actually probably not as long as you'd think. I did like RCs when I was a kid. So growing up, I used to play with them quite a lot. But then I sort of forgot about the hobby for a little bit. So got into real cars and real bikes and things like that. But then it was probably 2020, I started to get back into it. And that's when I discovered the drifting side of the hobby. Yeah. So it's only really been the last 3 years or so I've been doing the drifting bit.
Okay, so you love the drift aspects.
Yes, yeah.
And that precision, which I do too, because I'm a huge fan of like the gym-kha-na, Ken Block elevated that back in the day.
Definitely,
when I was on Top Gear, I remember seeing that, and we thought we'd filmed every different style, and then in came Ken Block. So I think you've really taken that on into the RC world with this imagination you've got. I mean, where does it all come from? Because these are just things you've thought up.
Some of them are. A lot of them actually come from followers. So when I first started posting videos of the RC cars, the comments were full of people with questions about how they worked and how they performed, but also giving me different challenges and different things to try. Yeah. So a lot of the comments were saying, can you do a drift park? Can you do a 360? Could you knock over that little bottle that's in the background, for example? Yeah. And once I started getting the challenges, I realized that when I replied to those videos and did those challenges, they were the most popular videos on the channel. So I sort of leaned into that a bit. Yeah. So for the last few years, I've been doing a lot of the trick shots based on that feedback and the fact that people who follow the channel seem to enjoy those videos the most. That's awesome.
Do you think that, I mean, I've watched and admired what you do. Is there any chance, do you think I could pull off some of these tricks?
I'd like to think so. So I think today with a bit of practice, you'd definitely be able to do some sort of tricks with it. Yeah. There is a lot of similarities with real life. So With the drifting side of things with RC, some of the drift teams who run real drift cars will actually test upgrades and parts on the RC cars as well.
Yeah.
So there's actually is that translation between the RC stuff to real life.
Okay.
So I'd like to think it works the other way around, and you can obviously drive real cars really well. So hopefully that would translate to the RC side too.
We're about to find out. I mean, the first thing I've noticed that's different is there's no rubber on those wheels.
No.
What's going on there?
So they're drift-specific tyres, so they're almost a plastic material as opposed to rubber.
Right.
Because they're designed to be really slippy. Same with the special floor in the background, it's designed to be slippy so they can drift, they can hold the angle and perform best at that kind of driving. Although the tyres are designed for drifting, you do get some grip from them, and they are designed to match the level of the surface correctly.
Okay.
So they are slippy. They do have some other modifications that help. So one of the big ones which might catch you out when you first try and use it is they've got something called a gyro. So the gyro is a gyroscope which drift cars use, and that will help you with the counter steer of the car. So
is
as
that
the car,
cheating?
a little bit.
Okay.
But it's necessary. So I guess one of the big differences with driving these is you don't have the feedback through the steering wheel and through the seat, like you do when you're driving a real car.
Yeah.
So in a real car, you can feel the limit of grip and you can feel it start to slide, whereas obviously you're not in this, so all you can do is see it.
Yeah.
So you've got to react really quick when the back end starts to go. So the idea of the gyroscope is it'll give you an automatic counter steer as the back end starts to step out, just to help you catch the drift and keep it going.
It helps you with the setup. Brilliant. Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. I guess let's have a go.
Yeah, definitely. Let's give it a
cool.
go.
Get in there.
You're getting the hang of it. So just small inputs. You don't need as much throttle or steering.
I meant to do that. I mean, I've done a lot of sliding around on ice, which is what this feels like. With drifting, you have so much more grip normally with the tyre and the weight pressing you into the tarmac. You can do transition slides so much easier that this is just like almost, it's so critical, it's ridiculous. I'm stuck.
I'll have to rescue you.
I beached it, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So that's the training done then. I don't think that went particularly well, but
I think you're being quite harsh on yourself. I think you did well. It takes a long time to get good at drifting them properly and smoothly.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of promise there. I think with a bit
Couple
more
of
time.
years?
No.
I could be on.
I don't think you would need that, but just a little bit more time, a bit more practice, focusing on those smooth inputs, and I think you'd be able to do some good trick shots.
You think so?
Yes,
Can we try some trick shots then?
Yeah, if you'd like to,
Okay.
certainly.
I mean, you've got some quite cool looking stuff over there, and I'm desperate to play with it. So you've got, I mean, this looks like sort of Top Gear's lab. You've got the hockey pucks,
correct,
basketball,
yes,
car football,
yeah,
and there's your famous Coke bottles.
Cooler bottles, yes.
I'd love to see that in action.
Yeah, we can have a go at that, no problem at all.
Cones, maybe we could try something with that. And I see you've got some apples.
Yes.
Which is, now I've actually brought some with me.
Go on then.
Because this reminds me of the apple test. So Clarkson was foolish enough to take a bet from me. I bet he couldn't hit an apple drifting his Mercedes, which was, handled not very well. He wasn't very precise. And he took this up over a few drinks. And then the next day, so we had basically lined up a few apples. And basically the loser, whoever couldn't do it, had to eat a crushed apple.
Right,
so
okay.
I smashed it to the bits with the BMW. He missed it in the Merc, so he had to eat the humble pie.
The great taste of Michelin.
So it was quite funny. So we'll definitely get some apple action going on.
That works well, I'm sure we can do that.
And you've got something else, I can barely even see it.
So we've got that miniature whiskey bottle with a little dram of whiskey on the top, which I've knocked off before. Some bottles of beer.
All right, brilliant. Let's start with, I don't know, familiar territory.
So
let's do the football.
Football, car football. Let's do that.
All right. So this is how car football was actually born for Top Gear, because originally I pitched an idea to try and beat an international goalie by thumping a ball into the net with a car. So I'm going to scale it down to the RC, and the maestro is going to take over from there. Yes! Come on!
Knock the goal over in the process.
That's because you're strong. That's awesome. Let's try some more.
Let's have a go.
right, so Apple test. A slightly different layout though. So I was actually standing on the apex when he swung through in his Merc with the Apple in front of me, but actually I've moved it out so we can clip it with the rear tyre.
Nice, sounds good.
I feel inspired by watching you. Do I reckon I can have a go at this?
I think you've got it. You did really well this morning for a beginner, so I think, I think you'll do it.
All right, cool. All right, let's give it a crack. No.
So I would try, if I was doing this, I'd be heading out wide and have it drift in there, so you're just controlling the drift instead of, because we're starting the drift quite close.
Too late. I'm leaving it too late.
Close, yeah. Yeah, that's the technique, and then just continue the drift through the corner, you'll get that.
I'm just warming the tyres up, by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. No.
Oh, we've got the stig.
Took the stig out. Front wheel again. No good. Just eyeing it up on this one.
Lovely. That looked spot on to me.
Celebratory donut. Oh, all over it now. Come on! Cool.
That was good.
Thank you. All right, it took me 58 takes, but I reckon you could do this first time.
I'll try. Let's see if I can get a first shot.
Over to you. Jordan, thank you for amazing watching you up close and seeing how you go at this. You're so professional, and for the patience that you gave me with my very meagre skills. So I think just to finish off, maybe a bit of competition, which I think is not going to go well for me, but worth a try. We do a lap of this. First one to drift the bell.
Yes.
What do you reckon?
Yep. Sounds good.
I'm not even sure I can drift that corner. It's a long one.
It is a long corner. It's a tough one, but I reckon we can do it.
All right.
Give it a go.
Right, we'll do a countdown, but may the best man win. Oh, come on!
Go crash, go again.
I rang it, admittedly in the wrong direction. I can't even hit it when I'm driving straight. You got it, Jordan. Jordan, you smashed that, which was never really in doubt, but really enjoyed it. Thank you. I've had a best day, and I find you just so inspiring. You know, your professionalism, how much time you've invested in getting these precise moves. It's just amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've really enjoyed it today. It's been really good, so thank you.
Well, I'm sure I've tested your patience. I know I have. There's nothing worse than being an instructor when someone's just not taking it on, but I learned a few things anyway. At least I hit the apple. So that was something. You have an amazing skill set. I love what you do. And I would love to return a favour and get you on track with a real car, full-sized, and see what you can do. Because I'm sure you can transfer those skills into the real car. So better than I did the other way.
That would be awesome. I'd love that. Thank you very much. That'd be really good.
Guys, check him out. Jordan, RC Drift Talk, absolute legend, massive on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram.
Instagram as well, yeah.
He's all over it. His videos are amazing. Absolutely smashes it. Check us out on Ben Collins Drives. Stay tuned and we'll see you at the next adventure. And definitely get one of these.